Saying no. Nope. Nope. No, nope, 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 nope. I have many different nopes. It's a skill. Just like playing the clarinet or driving or doing yoga or algebra or coding, saying no to expenditures is a skill. And if you're not saying no, you're not paying attention. Saying no is different from not even having the option. Some people wait until they don't have the option. I'm talking about saying no when a purchase wouldn't horribly derail your financial plan, but the purchase just doesn't fit with your long-term goals. For February, my savings rate for the month is on track to be about 75%. And yes, this has a lot to do with income and housing cost, especially in the Bay Area. But the only way I got that housing cost down so low was to pay off a big old buttload of debt. And the only way I paid off the debt was by not spending the money. And to not spend the money, I had to say no to a lot of things. And what I learned in that time is that knowing when to say no is not always clear. It's not a simple thing. And I started out just by saying no to everything. And along the way, there are some things that I regret saying no to, but there are way, way more things that I realized saying no had absolutely no difference on my happiness in my life. And that's a great benefit to understand. When you can look at the options that you have and realize which ones will move your happiness needle and which ones won't, and you can know that in your heart because you've lived it, that's a huge advantage when it comes to managing your money and managing your happiness going forward. The more that you say no now, the more you'll get to say yes later. So if you aggressively begin saying no to expenditures, you have this benefit of A, you learn which no's matter and which no's don't matter, and B, as time goes on, knowing that distinction actually ends up mattering less because you end up having more flexibility to say yes to things as you achieve more financially. I want to break out a specific example now of the type of thing that's going to come up and you're going to have to say no. Let's say your mom died, okay, and she didn't have anything, but she had a house. All right? You're not the executor. Say your sister's the executor, and you learned the home needs to be sold now, but it's full of a bunch of stuff, a bunch of trash. It has to be cleaned up. You're going to need big, burly men to help clean it up with a dump truck, and that costs money. Costs thousands of dollars. But you don't have any money right now. And so you're like, well, what do I do? I need to clean up this family situation. What's the best loan I could get? The best interest rate? No. Nope. This is a situation where you can't do anything. You don't have any money. You're broke. You can't afford to take on the debt to clean up your sister's problem. And as the executor of your mom's estate, it is her problem. That's what it means to be an executor. You have to handle the estate after someone has died. And so the executor has to take the situation as it's given to them using the resources of the estate and resolve it. And in a situation like this, because it's so emotional and because it's so close to you, a lot of people don't realize that if they're not able to clean out the house and the house sells for less money than it would have otherwise, the loss has already happened. The loss isn't due to you not taking out the loan. The loss is due to the home not being cleaned up prior to the death, because everyone dies. And not everyone has the some people die early and they can't prepare for their death, and that's sad. But a lot of people, they get older, they could be preparing for their death. In this situation, if the mom aged and didn't make any plans for what was going to happen to her estate after she died, that's what caused the loss. And it takes some time looking at these situations to realize how predictable some of these things are, and that the loss actually occurs much earlier than the crisis. It's just that no one's paying attention. And in this case, if you take out that loan, you're going to put yourself in a precarious financial position, perhaps like the mother was in, and then you're not going to be able to prepare for your own death, and then your kids are now going to be stuck with the problem of resolving this insolvent estate. And we don't want that. We want to improve things, and we want to prepare for things. And in this case, what that means is that you cannot take out a loan to pay for this. You have to let the home be sold for less money, and you have to let, the estate resolve itself. And that's the consequence for not having money in this situation. And let me point out, I'm not saying that you shouldn't help people and you shouldn't use money to help people. But the amount that you're able to help people really depends upon what you've been able to achieve financially. And if you're completely broke and you take out debt to help somebody else, and then in the future you're suffering and someone feels emotionally inclined to spend money helping you out, that's not a net gain. You've just shifted the burden of the thing that you are trying to fix to this other person in the future who's going to have to try to help you. And my goal is to help people be self-sufficient and reach a place where they can say yes to helping other people while at the same time covering their own expenses, so that in the future, these situations that are preventable don't come up again. That's where we want to get. And that means that we have to say no to a lot of different things. I was talking before, 75% savings rate. The way you get to a 75% savings rate is not having a 74% savings rate, which means that a purchase that would have been 1% of your monthly income, which really doesn't sound like a whole lot, you got to say no to it. When you're building wealth, the default answer to any purchase is no. Unless that purchase supports your long-term goals, which means you need to have long-term goals. You need to know what they are, and you need to know what kind of expenditures match up with them. And not all these goals are going to be retirement goals. Spending quality time with family is a big goal for me. So when I need to pay for plane tickets to make that happen, I pay the money for the plane tickets. So it's not that you're saying no to absolutely everything. It's that you're saying no to everything that doesn't fit up with a long-term plan that you've spent time thinking about and working through. There are many more things that you'll have to say no to than you'll say yes to. And at first, when you begin saying no so much, it's not very comfortable. But over time, you'll realize that a lot of the things that you said no to, if you want to say yes to next month, you could, or the next month after that. So it's really not a no, it's really like a not now. But eventually you're just like, no, and it really doesn't matter because I figured out that it wasn't going to add to my happiness anyway. And when you experience that enough times, then it kind of feels powerful to say no, because you're like, no, I don't have to spend that money. I'm cool. I figured out how to be happy without spending that money. And that's really cool. I think in Steve Jobs' biography, he talked about being a billionaire. And he said, I had enough money before I became a billionaire, and I had enough money after I became a billionaire. So I was really just all right. And he talked about walking into a bicycle shop and knowing that he could buy any bicycle in the shop, any road bike in the shop, but that he didn't need to, and he didn't want to, and he walked out of the shop, and he felt good about it. And I'm not a billionaire, but I'm pretty sure I could walk into the bicycle shop near me, and I could buy any bike in that shop, but I don't need to. And when you say no enough that you realize kind of what purchases bring you joy and what purchases don't, and you realize that when you want something and then you decide not to get it and you say no and you made the right decision for your happiness, it's really satisfying, because it's like this magical solution to the problem. The problem comes up, you say no to the expenditure, you realize that expenditure you said no to was very similar to other expenditures you said no to that weren't going to make you any happier, and then you're just like, wow, I got that happiness for free, or I avoided that, lack of resources for free. That's pretty sweet. And that's the power of no. So I would say yes to saying no. Seriously though, it's a skill. I would pay specific attention to it, specific attention to how often you say it, what your process is to reach that point, what no's become wins and what no's you regret in the future, and how that skill builds over time, because it really is a core skill in reaching the high savings rate necessary to achieve financial independence. That's it for video number 51, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a fabulous Friday night.